doubt, the moment where I forget and I start to hate that person for what they believe, I get to also be present with and experience that with the trust that I don't have to be, that I've learned not how to be, taken away by that, hooked by it, but I can just experience it and not have shame around it and say, oh yeah, that still comes up in me. Interesting. We can tend to always want to be managing our image and in managing our rightness, managing our perfection. I better do everything ahead and really make sure I don't ever show up in a way that might be seen as, either by myself or others, as not enough, less than, incapable, lost, confused, afraid. I can't show up those ways. What a freedom to say, yeah, I can. Those are just experiences I'm having. My essence is not afraid. My essence is not hateful. My essence is not small and constricted. But I show up those ways. It's not me. Yeah. It's an old wound that's arising, trying to pass. It's a trigger. It's some aspect of me that has been fragmented in this human experience and is trying to come back into alignment, into wholeness. To trust that is such freedom. And as we were talking about earlier, yes, we are alone in this, and that it is our work to do. And we can't always depend on community and friends and others and teachers to always hold that space for us. But the truth is, they do hold that space for us until we can hold it ourselves. As long as we're doing the work to try to hold it ourselves and not just always say, I always need you, I always need you. But, it's been my most beautiful relationships that have been able to hold me in that space of my shame. I go, really? Can I really show up quite incapable and scared and small in this moment? Won't you abandon me? Won't you think ill of me? Won't you go away? And those beautiful people went, no, not only that, but this is what I've been wanting all along, is for you to show up more fully and more vulnerably. And at first it's just so scary. So to trust that we can, that we're already enough. Always have been, always will be. And like you said earlier, that when we arrive in that place, we recognize that our purest, truest ground of being doesn't need to be defended. There's no walls there. If there's no walls, there's nothing to be defended. Yes, you can see all of me. Yes, you can see all of me. I don't need to hide any of it. Rather than can't see that, let me put up a wall there. And now that I've got a wall, that wall needs defending. Surrendering our image, right? Surrendering the image that we try to maintain. If I were to only meditate like once a month, I'd be mostly just back in the image. For me, the meditation is a consistent practice of putting it all down, getting naked, dropping the image, letting go of the trapeze, surrendering completely, being in free fall. And doing that enough so that it becomes a normal way of being. Because when I go back out into the world of media and friends and comparisons and successes and failures and all of that and ego, yeah, I start to believe that that's the truth again. Back to the meditation. Oh, wait, this is true. And if I wasn't doing that, cultivating that on a regular basis, then of course the illusion would seem true. I'd have what else would I have to go to? I wasn't giving the illusion something, a different way to look at life. That's the only thing I'd have, is the illusion to guide me. Lost again.
Faulty guidance system.
It's really a faulty guidance system.
It is.
Yeah. And the feeling of, and it feels crappy. It feels constricted. It feels, I'm comparing, I'm trying to be better, I'm not good enough, I need to be better in order. All of that has this sense of feeling constricted. And I love to look at it as the body is such a beautiful compass and resonant vessel of letting us know when we're believing things that aren't true. And the only way my higher consciousness has to get in touch with me, literally in touch with me, and say, I need to let you know that you're believing an illusion. I need to let you know you're believing something that is out of alignment with the way the universe really works, is to make it feel small and crappy and constricted and separating and alone and doubtful and fearful. So instead of looking at those feelings and saying, oh, those are bad feelings, I shouldn't feel those, to go, oh, wow, I feel really totally freaked right now and I'm feeling small and constricted. I don't need to make that feeling go away. I just need to say, so obviously I'm believing something that isn't true. Let me go into my silence and witness what I'm actually believing. And let's see what happens when I shift that belief. Let me shift it this way. And that still feels kind of constricted. Let me shift it this way. Oh, that starts to feel open and more alive and more vital and vibrant and whole. Let me take it a little bit further. Let me open that belief a little. Oh, I'm free again. This belief must be true. It's liberating and free and makes me feel closer and connected to others and more vital and alive in life. So what a beautiful mechanism this is. We're feeling into where we're believing things that aren't true and where we're believing into and feeling into something that is much more resonant and aligned with the true nature of how the universe and life wants to unfold.
It's a good guiding system.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've been taught that certain feelings are bad feelings. How can anything be a bad feeling when it's held in the embrace of divine source? How can anything that is held within the embrace of, and whatever you call it, God, divine source, essence, everything in that has to be included in the divine. The divisions can happen within the divine, but the divine, the essence, the oneness itself can't be divided. All the divisions that we see within it are constructs of our mind. And so we feel it. When we start to divide things up that way, it starts to feel small and constricted. And we remember, oh, what if all of this, even all of it, even the stuff that feels horrible, what if all of that is actually happening within a loving embrace of life itself? Maybe I can ride my pain and witness it and be with it a little bit easier, being tethered to, being held in a remembrance that I'm being held in the divine. and that this experience I'm having is an experience happening within a larger context of love. Changes everything. It makes that asshole who just cut me off on the freeway just an inconvenience and not an asshole. And something I don't like, and something that is, inconvenient, but I don't take it so personally. I don't hold it just in the, I don't take it in and identify it with it just as a persona, as an ego. I can identify with it, or I can encounter it and experience it, knowing myself as the wholeness, as the divine. And as the divine, it's a lot harder to go, I hate you. It's a lot easier to say, oh. I was going to say, oh, you compassion, you poor soul. But what if I don't even put that story? What is it? I just don't put any story on. It's just what is.
Yeah.
What is what is happening just before we have a thought about it. Just that just happened. What if I don't put any thought around that? What if I don't put any story around that?
It blips into your existence and then moves out.
Exactly. Exactly. But if I hang on to it, now it's got me. Mm-hmm. Now it's got me. And now I'm in the world of illusion, and I'm going to make up all sorts of stories about it that aren't true. I like it. It blips in. Oh, look at that.
There it goes.
There it goes. Right. Right. Bye. Nick, I'd like to keep seeing love. I'd like to keep feeling love. I would like to keep feeling love. Argument with a spouse. This is difficult. This is hard. I'd like to keep remembering that I love. And that maybe our wounding is encountering each other's wounding. Mm. But we are not our wounding. We are the love experiencing wounding. But I don't have to treat this other person as if they are their wounding, their pain, their difficulty, their sense of being lost. They're not that small. To see everyone as large, as of the divine. And to recognize the wounding, to recognize the pain and see it and choose, do I want to be around it? Is this healthy? But at least we're making the choice then.
Consciously.
Yeah. Yeah. And from the place of, this is their wounding. I know them to be love. Right now, their wounding is really hard to be around. And in fact, it might even be dangerous. And I get to choose to what degree I want to be associated with or close to or stay in connection or contact with this. But I don't have to make up a story that they are evil in any form. If we could all do that, right? Stop turning people into monsters that have to be defeated.
Seeing them as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And not whole.
Right. Right. We could see them as not being integrated and not and acting from a place of deep fragmentation and deep wounding and deep pain. And we can choose actions around that to keep ourselves safe. You know, somebody's coming at me with a knife in anger. I'm not just going to go, well, okay. You know, I'm going to defend myself, but emotionally, do I need to hate that person? And in that, lose my connection to the ultimate truth by starting to believe in hate.